Okay, your focus question for today is, how can I prove two or more lines are parallel? How can I prove two or more lines are parallel? All right, I have a couple conditional statements that I want you to write down. One, if consecutive comma alternate interior and or alternate exterior if consecutive alternate interior and or alternate exterior angles are congruent, then the lines cut by the transversal are parallel. If consecutive alternate interior and or alternate exterior angles are congruent, then the lines cut by the transversal are parallel. Second conditional. If consecutive interior angles are supplementary, then the lines cut by the transversal are parallel. Now read them both again on your paper. Try to make them sink in a little bit. Now look at the diagram on the top of page 209, and I'll draw it so we can all look at it together. Here, here. A, B, L, and M. No, don't draw it. I would rather you just kind of watched, and then if you need to see it again, watch the notes on Edline. 5, 6, 7, and 8. You can read the directions on the bottom of 208 for example 1 while I'm finishing this. The directions say, given the following information, determine which lines, if any, are parallel. State the postulate or theorem that justifies your answer. Okay, the way that your assignment is going to work today, the first half of your assignment, you're going to get a diagram that looks something like the one I just drew. And then you're going to be told something like angle 2 is congruent to angle 8. All right? Angle 2 is congruent to angle 8. Determine which lines, if any, are parallel. If angle 2 is congruent to angle 8, okay, what lines are parallel? That's a B, right? That's my attempt at a script B. A is parallel to B, right? So here's how you would answer it. A is parallel to B. Second part of the answer is state the postulate or theorem. All right, well, why is A parallel to B? Because aren't 2 and 8 alternate interior angles? If those are alternate interior angles and they're congruent, then these lines are parallel because of the alternate interior angles theorem. Okay? Those are the lines that are parallel. That's justifying your answer. If you're told that angle 3 is congruent to angle 11, angle 3 congruent to angle 11, okay, what lines are parallel? And what reason are you using to state that? Yes?
L and M.
Very good. L is parallel to M. And what reason are you using? What theorem? Corresponding angles theorem. So you would write corresponding angles theorem. Okay? If you're told that angle 8 plus angle 13, angle 8 plus angle 13 equals 180. Okay? What lines? 8 and 13. 8 and 13 are supplementary. So what lines are parallel? Yes. L is parallel to M. Good. And what theorem are you using? What are those angles called?
Interior.
Consecutive interior. So we're using the consecutive interior angles theorem. Okay? That's how you're going to do each of the problems in the first part of your assignment. You're going to be told that a couple of angles are congruent. You're going to be asked which lines are parallel. State which lines are parallel. What if you're told that angle 12 and is congruent to angle 10? Does that allow you to determine?
No.
Why not?
Because they're vertical and vertical.
Exactly. They're just vertical angles, aren't they? There isn't a theorem that says if vertical angles are congruent, lines are parallel. All vertical angles are congruent. All right, so remember the directions said if any. So angle 12 is congruent to angle 10. Which lines are parallel? Well, none. There's not enough information. Okay? Not enough information. There aren't any lines that are parallel. Got it? Okay. Second part of your assignment. Look at page 211. Two's got a problem that looks something like this. And what you're going to be asked to do here is to solve for x so that line M is parallel to line N. Alright, so if this is 2x minus, this one's plus 25. Alright, if you're asked to solve for x so that M is parallel to N, for M to be parallel to N, what's got to be true about these two angles? Do they have to be congruent, supplementary? What do they got to be? What are they, first of all? They're alternate exterior angles. For M to be parallel to N, didn't we say that alternate exterior angles are congruent? Right, so if you take 3x minus 14 and make it equal to 2x plus 25, if you solve for x, that's the value that x has to be equal to make M parallel to N. Is anybody confused there?
Can you do another one?
Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more. 17. Look at problem 17, or a problem just like 17. If this is your picture, and again, the lines are M and N. M and N, and this is, what does that symbol mean?
Right.
And this is 5x minus 20. For M to be parallel to N, what does 5x minus 20 have to equal?
90.
It's got to equal this angle, doesn't it? And that angle's 90. So 5x minus 20 has to equal 90. Add 20 divided by 5. Okay? All these problems follow the same format. Look at number 19, or one like 19. What kind of angles are those? Consecutive interior, right? So 7x minus 2, 10 minus 3x. What has to be true about those two for M to be parallel to N? They have to be supplementary. So doesn't 7x minus 2 plus 10 minus 3x have to equal 180? Okay? When you set that up, guys, make sure you combine your like terms. Make sure you combine those two. And make sure you combine these two first before you start doing anything else. Alright? And then I'll let you get creative with 20 and 21. 20 and 21, let me just remind you of vertical angles are congruent, okay? Vertical angles are congruent. Hint, hint, hint.